Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Help for HD TV. Today, we are going to be talking about another new program at Help for HD International. And we have Anna on with us, our social worker at Help for HD, to talk to us about our newest program that just launched. So I will hand it over to you, Anna. But before we start and talk about this program, can you tell us a little bit about how HD is a part of your life and why you decided that you wanted to come work in the HD space?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. And I always say it's something I could talk about for hours. And I think a lot of people in the HD community feel that way. But yeah, I do come from an HD family. My dad was diagnosed when I was like 6 or 7, and his father had it. I have a lot of extended family who is at risk and has passed away or is currently symptomatic with HD. And we my family, like my dad, my brother, and my mom, when we were young, were really the only ones in the extended family that talked about HD or really were invested in any way. So HD has always been just a big part of my life and something I've always wanted to give back to and just participate in. And so when I was younger, I was the primary caretaker for my dad. My mom had moved out and my brother was in college, so it was me and my dad, and we just got really close during his the period where he was still pretty symptomatic, but still pretty independent at the same time. So we became like best friends, and I just always saw myself in him. And so I ended up going to college 5 hours away from him, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And during that time, it was just a big growth time for me to learn more about myself and my future and just about HD in general. So I think it was 2015 was the first HDO camp. And so I was invited by Maddie to go to that. And I remember he messaged me on Facebook a few times, and I was just like, who is this random person from like Europe messaging me about HD? But it was life-changing. Honestly, I wouldn't be here without that experience. And so that first camp is when I really met people my age, and I met professionals in the HD space and social workers. And those social workers really became the guiding light for my future. And I got really close with Chandler Swope, and she helped me through my testing process. I received my test results in 2016, and I tested positive for HD then when I was 20. And so I was pretty young, and the whole experience was just a whirlwind. And I just remember not having a lot of support being that young, and just life insurance companies asking, why the heck are you calling us? Like, you're not even graduated, you don't have a job yet, you don't have a stable income to even pay for life insurance. And so those things, I remember being told I'd never need a 401 because it'd just be a waste of time. So all of these things added up, and I just wanted to be involved with HD from that point forward. When I was finishing college and my early to mid 20s, I was involved with the NYA and was on the board for them. And I've been involved with HD Cope for several years since it started, which I guess is more than several years. It's 6 years now. But yeah, I've just always been that voice of representation for younger folks who are testing positive or considering testing and trying to live life as a young adult, and also a caretaker or someone who's responsible for other loved ones with HD. And so it just pushed me to get my master's degree in social work. And there's other things that I've always been interested in, but I knew I always wanted to have a piece of me giving back to the HD community. And of course, it gives back to me too. So it's a mutual benefit there. But yeah, that's what brought me to Help for HD.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that, because I think for one thing, it just shows how lived experience is so important when it comes to social work and the different places that you decide to bring your services to, right? If you've had that lived experience, it really does help community members. And I'm talking about in all different types of social work, right? Like, it's just, there's something about the lived experience. So thank you for sharing that. With Help for HD, we, over the past couple of years, have had requests here and there about starting a support group on top of the support groups that we had in place prior, which is caregiver for somebody with HD and then parents of somebody or caregivers of somebody with juvenile Huntington's. But we didn't have anything for those at risk or gene positive, and I'm sure other groups, other subgroups. And so we started this year wanting to look at that a little bit more in depth and how we can structure that. And that's where Anna fits in so well. So Anna, can you just tell us a little bit about PPEM?
Yeah, I'm super honored and excited to be launching this support option. And I keep calling it a support space because it's not just like a support group that you meet virtually or in person. I think over time it's going to be a lot more in-depth connection and just ongoing daily support for people who are in similar spaces. And like you said, when we've been getting requests for this kind of space or this kind of support, it seems like when you look at other organizations, they often have at-risk folks grouped in with gene negative people. And a lot of support options aren't really targeting this very specific group of people who are potentially pre-symptomatic, prodromal, or very early stages, however they prefer to identify. So it seemed like there was this support for kids and there was support for people with HD and there's support for all of the people surrounding us, but not this kind of subset. PPEM is pre-symptomatic, prodromal, early, manifest, or very early stages. Not super clearly defined because we don't need a diagnosis. We don't need medical records to indicate where you're at. We just want this to be what you identify as and what support you're looking for. If you feel like you fit into that group of being gene positive or still at risk, but pre-symptomatic or prodromal or very early stages, then this is the spot for you to get support from each other and from other people going through similar things as you. There's not an age range, it's not specific to that. It's really just a shared experience of potentially being caregivers for loved ones that are older than us or siblings, and knowing that HD may be in our future as well. It's a space to talk about clinical trials and participation in Enroll HD and other experiences like that. And just normalizing the space that we're in, I think, and having that kind of daily support, like I said, where you can just send a message and say, I'm having a really bad day with X, Y, and Z, or I'm really stressed about this. And then you have 5 to 10 other people just being able to support you through that privately, not openly on a Facebook group or anything like that. So I think it's going to be a really unique space for people. And what we're hoping is that we can still have that sort of daily messaging or daily support aspect, but then build in maybe ad boards with pharma or support groups that are around specific topics, but really thinking about having the flexibility for people in this stage in the HD life span of being able to have that flexibility of support.
If you guys want to join the group, as of right now, it is Facebook's. If you don't have Facebook, I'm sorry, that's where they meet right now. Eventually, like Anna said, there's going to be other opportunities for more virtual support groups and things that'll be on other platforms. But for right now, it is a Facebook a private messaging group right now. If you would like to join that group, please, you can go on Facebook or email Anna. Her email is Anna, ANA, at help4hd.org. You can also find her through the contact page of www.help4hd.org, or you can go to the database and you can contact her through there. There's lots of different ways to get a hold of Anna. And then Anna will be able to add you into that group. But please also, I think that we need to keep in mind that this group is some people may not fit into this group. So it doesn't mean that we are looking to expand into other groups as well. I know right now, Katrina talked about caregivers and JHD, and then Anna just talked to you about the pre-symptomatic group. And then of course, there's that missing from us is that HD group, right? That support group is missing from Help for HD. There is other organizations like HDSA that does support that group, that subgroup of our big community, all of our subgroups. And eventually we are hoping to also bridge that need as well. I don't want anyone to be hurt or feelings hurt because that it's not available right now to you. It doesn't mean it will not be soon, and we are working hard to get that done. So in saying that, did I miss anything?
I think that just brings up a good point of this group too, is that it's meant to be flexible for your needs. So if you're feeling like you're phasing out of that pre-manifest or early stages into more obvious stages or like an official diagnosis, then we're here to support you through that process. It's not we're going to boot you out once that happens.
Yeah.
So it's very
That's a good point.
manageable.
Yeah, exactly. It is a network. Yeah, support network for sure. All right, I think that will do it. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel below and ring the bell for notifications when more videos like this come out. Until next time.